Ladder EQ versus hard counters. Yo, what's going on guys? In today's video we're going to be trying to beat hard counters with the best Hog EQ deck of all time. So we're going to be using Hog Earthquake with Firecracker here, which has been a really good deck for like the last little over a year at this point. So definitely a really good deck right here, and it does get overshadowed a little bit by the newer Hog EQ decks, but I think it's still a really solid deck overall and definitely very viable. Even on top ladder, I feel like it's still quite a nice deck to play. So in the first match, this guy's going to have Giant Skeleton as well as a Hunter. So it could be like a graveyard deck here. Also could be RG, potentially like RG Giant Skeleton with like Earthquake and stuff. He does have arrows here though, which is going to be pretty unfortunate for us. It's really bad to see an arrows deck when you're running Firecracker. He's going to go with the RG right there. So, man, this could be a pretty hard matchup actually. Should be pretty fitting for the first game of the video here. He does have like the arrows in there as well, which is going to make it a really difficult matchup. You don't really see too many arrows RG decks, but I guess this guy just has a little bit of a different variation right here. But the one nice thing about this deck is they do have a really quick cycle, so when they do go with the arrows on your first Firecracker, you can pretty easily cycle back to another one quicker than they can actually get back to their arrows, so that's pretty nice for us here. I'm going to go with my Earthquake here on his Zappies. Don't really want to waste my Firecracker unless I have to, because it is a little bit of an important card on defense, so we have to make sure we use it wisely. He'll go with the Hunter in the back there though, so I'm kind of forced to play it right here, which should be pretty good for us. He's probably going to have to like arrows it, and that'll mean he can't really build up too big of a push or anything like that right away, so that should be fairly nice for us. Going to log back his Hunter here. We'll play an RG right in front of the Hunter, which is pretty aggressive by him. He can't really get too many, or like too much of a good support for his RG right here. He's going to go with the Earthquake though. Wasn't really expecting the Earthquake to be honest. Seeing like the arrows, I kind of thought it could be like Fireball that he had there, but he does have Earthquake, so definitely going to be a really hard counter right here that he has, having like both the Earthquake and the arrows. Pretty good push there by us, though. I think the Firecracker will get one more shot on his tower. Yeah, really well played by us there. Really good defense, making sure to like not overcommit too much against his RG, and instead just kind of like capitalizing on the offensive end. And he will set up his Giant Skeleton here, so this is really where it starts to get difficult in a matchup like this. You can't really like break through once they start stacking up the lane with like their Giant Skeletons and stuff like that. And we can't really get like too much Firecracker value, seeing that he does have arrows in the deck. He'll go with his arrows right there. I'm just gonna like spam cycle here just to get back to their Firecracker as soon as possible. It's really hard to like stop his big pushes without like a Firecracker on the field, so you have to make sure we have as many Firecrackers as possible. I'm just gonna kind of like spell away his support units right here, and I think Earthquake should finish off these Zappies. He does have another set of arrows there for our Firecracker, but still gonna get quite a bit of value out of it before it ended up dying right there. I'm gonna go with the Hog Rider plus Ice Spirit here. Should be able to like stun a Giant Skeleton. Yeah, he's gonna play the Giant Skeleton there. Don't know if it'll be enough though, because our Ice Spirit did kind of help out. Hog is gonna get one shot on this tower, which is really nice for us. I'm gonna set up a low Tesla right here. I'm just probably gonna Earthquake it, but still gonna get a little bit of value at least, because it does have more HP than like a cannon or something, so it doesn't really die right away to Earthquakes and stuff. And he's just gonna kind of like spend his Fisherman and stuff there, which is pretty okay by me. Don't really know if he can actually stop this Hog Rider since he wasted his Fisherman. I'm gonna go with the Firecracker right here. Hopefully get a little bit of chip damage on his tower. Yeah, really good Firecracker right there, and that will be a good game. Alright, hopping in the next match here. I think this guy does have a Lava deck most likely. This guy does usually play Lava, so it should be a pretty hard match right here, but that's pretty much the whole point of today's video, so that should be quite nice here. I'm gonna go with my Firecracker in the back here, just to like hopefully bait out some type of spell. He'll go with arrows right there, so that's definitely really bad for us here. Always really hard with Firecracker against arrows decks. I'm gonna go with my Hog Rider right here, see what counters he has to it. He'll go with the Tombstone. A little bit of a late Earthquake right there, so not really gonna get as much damage as I would have liked there, but still like a nice 1000 or so damage. And he'll go with the Lava in the back there, so pretty bad for us to be honest. We don't really have the best cycle to defend his Lava. Gonna have to pressure with a Valkyrie right here, hopefully get like a few swings on his tower. So like one good tip for you guys, when you're up against a Lava deck with like any type of Hog cycle deck, you have to make sure you're applying really good pressure, because you don't really have any possible way to defend a huge Lava push. You just have to make sure that you can have like a good offense, because like I feel like a good defense is a good offense, like in a matchup like this, as they sometimes say, like with that one quote. So yeah, he's gonna go with the Mirror Flying Machine. I wasn't really expecting the Mirror, so gonna get quite a lot of value for him right here. He's gonna get quite a ton of Flying Machine shots on our tower. Definitely not ideal here. Pretty much took our entire tower, but maybe we can just like barely preserve our tower with like this Ice Spirit right here. Honestly, pretty good defense for what we had there, but not really gonna work out too well, because as I said, he does have quite a hard counter to us here. The only one nice thing about this match is it doesn't really have too many good Hog counters. He does have Tombstone, but we do have Earthquake for the Tombstone, so maybe if we can like hopefully get some good Hogs off, we could still have a chance to win. And yeah, gonna go with the log right here, just to like hopefully predict a tombstone. He'll go with a set of skelly drags right there though, so he's gonna counter the hog rider, but that means he can't really support his lava with a set of skelly drags. That's pretty nice for us here that he does end up wasting there. He'll go with the flying machine there behind his lava, but we're still gonna be able to hopefully kill it with a Tesla right here. His flying machine is kind of off to the side there, so not really gonna be the best for him. I'm gonna push with the hog rider right here, make sure he can't really support his lava too well. Also a really good prediction log there hitting his tombstone. Oh, we do have another Valkyrie right here in a second, just hopefully block his flying machine. He'll go with the miner in the back though, so we're going to take our tower here, but our hog also took his tower, so that's pretty good for us there. Our tower only had like 900 HP left, and his tower had like pretty much full HP, so that's a really good trade for us. And also his left side tower isn't full HP, so we're still going to have a pretty good chance in this match here. Should be able to get a few hog hits as well. Hog just barely doesn't get like the third shot, but still overall pretty nice hog rider right there. We're gonna set up an early Tesla right here. Like we need one Tesla to like kind of DPS down his lava push, and then one Tesla to like kind of kill his actual like supporting units behind the lava push. So that's gonna be pretty hard for us right here. We're gonna go with another Tesla right on his major flying machine, and we'll go with the Skelly King in the middle right there. He might get like a bit of a flying machine off right here. We don't have enough elixir to stop everything, but Valkyrie's gonna come down last second right there against his Skelly King ability. So pretty clutch for us here. I think we're gonna have to go with another Tesla right there. Flying machine will lock on our tower. But at least we do end up distracting the Skelly drag there for a few seconds. I'm gonna go with the hog rider right here. Should be able to hopefully do something. He's going with like a pretty weird tombstone right there. Pretty much pulling our hog rider all the way back, but it didn't really work out too well for him. Gonna get one hog shot on his tower. Yeah, his flying machine should die mostly to that Tesla. And yeah, really good Valkyrie right there. Kind of blocking the flying machine as well as hopefully being able to kill this Skelly King right here. And I think Tesla should do most of the damage with this lava in the pocket. He'll support it with the miner as well as the flying machine. Wow, super good firecracker shot right there, killing all of his lava pups, and I think our hog should take it right here. Really well played by us, and that will be a good game. Alright, in the next game here, we're going to be up against this guy. Not really too sure what he's playing here, so I'm just going to psych my hog rider first play here. Hopefully get like a little bit of damage on his tower. He'll play a tombstone though, pretty late tombstone, so we're going to have to spend the Valkyrie as well right there. Some of the Valkyrie could be like some type of graveyard deck most likely, but not really 100% sure here. I'm gonna kind of pull his Valkyrie right back into our firecracker there, and yeah, not really too sure I went with such an early graveyard there. Really aggressive graveyard by him, but we're still gonna be able to defend pretty well there. Also really smart of us to go with the Valkyrie there instead of like an Earthquake on defense, because the Valkyrie will give us pretty good counter push potential. And he'll still have to respond to our firecracker, I think. He's one with the Ice Wizard right there. I don't really think he has any elixir to stop our Hog Rider. I mean, our Valkyrie. Just mixed up the Valkyrie with the Hog Rider, but yeah, really good Valkyrie right there. You don't really expect Valkyries to get too much damage on your opponent's towers in most games, but the Valkyrie did so much damage, just like a Hog Rider does right there, so pretty reasonable mistake by me. And yeah, really good start here. Definitely a really hard counter for him, but having such a good start, we might still have a pretty good chance to win, but surely not going to be over yet, because he does have really good RNG with the graveyard sometimes, so it could make it quite difficult, especially as we approach the later parts of the game. Not really too sure why this guy's being so aggressive though with his graveyard. Really aggressive here, and I think our Valkyrie should be able to defend it pretty good here and also apply a little bit of counter push. And yeah, pretty awkward Hog Rider there, kind of tanking his Baby Dragon. He didn't want to take any damage from his Baby Dragon. He's going to decide to go with the Valkyrie there on our Hog Rider instead of like a NATO, so it's going to allow us to get one nice shot on his tower. And I think our Firecracker should do a pretty good job here, kind of melting down his Valkyrie as well as his Ice Wizard. And yeah, really good stuff for us right here. Gonna also kind of kill his Ice Wizard with our Valkyrie. And he's still gonna have to spend something on it, so yeah, that's really well played by us. I feel like it all boiled down to spending that first Valkyrie on his graveyard instead of going with like a defensive Earthquake as like most players might do. We don't with like the really smart Valkyrie. I'm gonna pressure with the Hog Rider right here. I kind of was expecting him to go with the graveyard right there. So he's not really able to support his graveyard too well right now because he had to spend the NATO on our Hog Rider. And we're already back to another Hog Rider right here, so we can pressure with him pretty easily here in a second. I'm gonna go with it right now, and unfortunately the Tesla just barely doesn't end up finishing off the Barbarian, but it shouldn't really matter too much. Really good prediction log there on his Tombstone. I feel like we're always getting those nice prediction logs on Tombstones. Gonna go with a pretty high Tesla here against his Baby Dragon. We don't have like an Archer King in this deck to really stop the Baby Dragons too well, but the one nice thing is that Tesla does do a really good job of killing them sometimes before they even cross the bridge, so that's really nice for us, and I think we should be able to kind of bridge block his Valkyrie with our own Valkyrie. He'll go with the Ice Wizard there as well. I'm gonna go with the Hog Earthquake push here, hopefully like bait out a NATO. he's gonna go with the NATO right there, and I think our Tesla should be able to destroy his baby dragon pretty easy before it even crosses the bridge. His Ice Wind is kind of helping out though, so I'm not really gonna be able to get the full job done. He'll go with a pretty aggressive Graveyard Poison right there, and I'm probably gonna go with the defensive Earthquake here. We don't have a Valkyrie in cycle or anything like that, so kind of had to do that. And yeah, just gonna pressure them their Hog Rider right here. Should be able to bait out some good response. Unfortunately, I don't have any Earthquake in cycle there to really counter his Tombstone, so he's gonna fully defend our Hog Rider right there, but he'd have to spend the Ice with it as well, so that's pretty fine by me. And we have to waste our Valkyrie quite up high right there, so we're gonna have to go with the defensive Earthquake once again. Should do a pretty good job on defense though, and since we're up quite a lot of damage, we don't have to worry too much about spending defensive Earthquakes. We don't need to worry too much about getting damage on his tower, we really just need to worry about defending our own tower. And somehow the Hog does get one shot there on his tower, not really too sure how that happened, but I'm gonna put him in pretty much like Earthquake cycle range, just need like a couple of Earthquakes and a few logs on his tower, and that should be pretty much it here. Gonna go with the Bridge Block Valkyrie, just make sure his Valkyrie can't really tank for his Graveyard, or his Baby Dragon as well. And gonna go with the Hog Earthquake right here. Hog does get the final swing right there, so that will be a good game. Alright, hopping in the next match, we're gonna be up against Pedro, who's actually the best mortar player in the world right now. He did finish top 5 in the world last season, so he's gonna go with the mortar there against our Hog EQ, and he will also log, so he's gonna fully defend there. And believe it or not, mortar is actually a pretty hard matchup for Hog EQ. Well, maybe not for like the Hog EQ Archer Queen decks, but when you do have the Firecracker in there, it does become quite a hard matchup because they kind of activate their King Tower pretty easily against your stuff, which does make it really difficult to actually like break through their mortars. Because even if you go with like a Hog Earthquake, if they do have their King Tower activated, they can actually fully counter it with just a mortar. But luckily for us here, he's not really going to get the early King activation or anything like that, so we're just like chipping away with Earthquakes constantly, which is always pretty good for us here. And we do have Skeletons to always defend his miners pretty okay. He's getting like little bits of chip damage, but nothing too major. And you're not really too sure if we can actually outcycle him here. He does have quite a quick cycle as us. I think he has like the same exact quickest cycle as we do, so we can't really outcycle him here, but I'm just gonna keep on pressuring him. And yeah, also gonna kind of like switch lanes here. I know he does have Archer Queen in his deck, so it's gonna be pretty hard to go Sane lane, because if he plays like an Archer Queen in the back, he can pretty much just like, deny the full lane for like an entire 30 seconds or so, which is pretty hard for us. So just gonna kind of make sure we have good damage in both towers. And yeah, pretty even right here. We do have a little bit of a lead on him, but not really gonna be too good for us since we're kind of having to like switch lanes here, so we don't really have too much of a lead in like the left side tower or anything like that, which is pretty map for us here. I'm gonna keep on like cycling my cards. They're gonna go with another Hog Rider right here. It's always good to go with the Hog Earthquakes. It is only like a -1 elixir trade if he goes like the log as well, and it's still gonna get us like a pretty nice 200 damage each time. Unfortunately, after log his Fire Spirit, he didn't have like an Ice Spirit or anything in cycle, so that's not really the best for us here, but I'm gonna go with another Hog Rider once again. He'll play his Mortar here. We can also go with an Earthquake though. Should still like force out another log right there. Yeah. So yeah, pretty slow start here, just like getting little bits of Earthquake chip damage, and he's just getting like little bits of minor chip damage, but the real fun should hopefully be in double elixir right now. I'm gonna play my Skeletons in the back here, just like hopefully predicting a minor, but he isn't gonna go with it right away. So I'm gonna go with the Hog Rider right here once again, and I'm gonna go with an Earthquake as well. We play a bit of a high mortar this time. I don't think his Valkyrie will be able to fully stop our Hog Rider. Also gonna go with the Firecracker here, and Firecracker does get some pretty good splash damage on his tower. And it's going to be pretty hard to actually get Hog Shots in this matchup, so I feel like the best way to get damage is probably going to be like off of our Earthquakes, as well as our kind of like Firecracker splash damage, or like Shrapnel damage, don't really know what you want to call it. And then he'll go with the Miner plus Log there. Doesn't really hit our Skeletons though, so that's pretty fine by me. He'll get a little bit of chip damage, but not really the end of the world. And yeah, I feel like our Firecracker Shrapnel damage just really put us in the lead right now. And Hog just barely doesn't get a shot right there, but still in a pretty firm lead right here, like 500 damage lead. Okay, unfortunately our Firecracker doesn't actually go for the Queen right there, but he actually popped the Queen ability right there. I think he actually thought that our Firecracker had targeted his Archer Queen, but fortunately for us it didn't, and we still forced out the ability, which is always really nice to see. He's actually get the King Tower activation though, so that's definitely not ideal for us, but still in a pretty okay spot overall. Gonna cycle my log here. He has picked a pretty high mortar there, not really too sure why he did that. Gonna allow us to get one nice Hog Shot on his tower. And I'm just going to play another Hog Rider right here, just make sure we can keep on applying good pressure. He'll play a Fireball there, as well as a log. Not sure if that's going to be enough. He'll get one really nice Hog swing on his tower, so yeah, looking really good right here. He'll play his kind of random Fire Spirit there. Now he's going to set up his Queen in the back. We can't really like push into his Queen with the Hog Rider, so we're going to have to kind of just like hopefully spell it down with like a log right here, maybe like a Earthquake as well and whatnot. He'll play his Miner here as well as a Fireball, so we can play our Earthquake on his Queen. Really nice Firecracker shot there, getting like a good amount of shape damage on his tower. And he's going to be a little bit desperate here, kind of pressuring with him more, so I'm going to pressure with my Hog Rider in the other lane, and an Earthquake as well, and that should be a good game. Alright, jumping in the next match, we're going to be up against this guy. I don't really have the best cycle, so I'm going to play my Ice Spirit, just getting a little bit of chip damage hopefully. He'll play his Golden Knight in the back. Most Golden Knight decks do have Tornado in them, so I'm going to pressure with the Hog Rider as well as the Skellies there, just to like force out a little bit of extra elixir. He'll play the Ghost there as well as the Nado, but we just to get one really nice Hog shot on his tower. And he does have Cannon Cart here as well, so it could be some type of drill bridge spam deck I think with Tornado in there, which is honestly a pretty hard matchup, just as the previous matches were. Against like normal drill decks, you do have a pretty good matchup. When they do have like the Nado and the Golden Knight in there, it does become quite a lot harder for this deck, so definitely not gonna be easy at all here. We do have a really good Ice Spirit there on his Magic Arch, also really good Skellies on his Cannon Cart, so really nice defense, and I think we did outcycle his Nado here, so we can pretty much just go with the Hog Rider here in a second and just should be able to get at least one shot on his tower I think, unless he really overcommits on it. He'll go with his Ghost there as well as the Ewis, but he did come down pretty late there, so we did get one Hog shot there, really nice for us. And I think Valkyrie should be able to clean up this Ghost as well as the Ewis pretty well here. Also gonna maybe apply a little bit of counter push, not really sure if it's gonna get a shot on his tower or not. I think it might not, but who really knows right here. Could bait out like a little bit of a something. He'll play his Golden Knight right there. He's going to play his Drill right here, so it could be a little bit scary if his Golden Knight gets close to our tower. He's go with the Nado there on our Firecracker. Not really the best Nado by him though. I'm going to play my Valkyrie just at the very last second right there. Really good for us, kind of baiting out the ability from him. Going to cost him like one extra elixir right there. And he doesn't have any Nado in cycle right now for our Hog Rider, so should be able to get quite a few shots probably. Going to get one shot right there, 2 shots, 3 shots. And could just barely not 4 shots, but really good Hog Rider, really good kind of field awareness there, knowing that he wasted his Nado and didn't really have any good way to stop our Hog Rider. So yeah, really good start here for us. Gonna keep on chipping away with our cheaping, it's like our Ice Spirits and stuff like that. Because I feel like Earthquake doesn't really do too much damage nowadays, so it is pretty hard to get damage against like decks that have good Hog counters like Tornado and stuff, so we need to kind of still get a few Hog hits. One really nice Hog hit did just come down right there though, and also pretty good Magic Archer by him, but still gonna kind of get wrecked by our Earthquake plus Log there. He'll go with the Nado for our Firecracker. Not really the best Nado by him, to be honest. Gonna still kind of allow us to defend pretty well here, and don't think his Cannon Cart's gonna do too much. And he doesn't have any Nado in cycle for our Hog Rider, but can't really go for the Hog right away because he did just waste his Ewis and stuff at the bridge, so we can't really pressure too early. Gonna go with a pretty early Log right here. I think the Firecracker kills the Goblins. Unfortunately, it doesn't actually shoot back, so not perfect for us here, but nice Hog Rider to kind of tank his Magic Archer. Hog might be able to get a shot right here if we're lucky. Okay, kind of just gets like body blocked by his Golden Knight right there. Not really too sure how it didn't walk past that, but still gonna be a pretty nice spot here. Hopefully his Golden Knight doesn't do something crazy right now. His Giant Skeleton is kind of going crazy, like just getting pushed towards all of our stuff, but I think we might be able to defend. He's gonna kind of pull it back with the Hog Rider. Also gonna go with an Ice Spirit on his Giant Skeleton. Gonna go with a Log as well on his Drill right there. And Hulk somehow does get one shot on his tower. Not really too sure how that happened. Really good last second Valkyrie there killing his E-Ways, and should be able to kill his Golden Knight plus Ghost as well. Gonna go with another Hog Rider right here. Gonna push with the Ice Spirit as well, and I think that will be a good game. So thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye!